Good morning and welcome back to Newswatch 3. I'm Asa Callow.
And I'm Christian Kotwitz, and we are so excited to bring you your weekly news.
This week we are highlighting the 2023 Highbridge Film Festival and a fun new campus tradition.
We will also take a look at national and local sports and news updates. I don't know about you, Asa, but things get pretty quiet around campus on the weekends.
With the small town, there are not many things open and close by for students to do on a Sunday.
Some Asbury students had a solution to find a fun activity for the weekend. I got a chance to sit down with some of the Asbury track and field team runners to see how they spend their Sunday nights. Let's take a look.
All is quiet on the streets of Wilmore, Kentucky on a Sunday night. Raindrops are distinctive, but if you listen close, you can hear the footsteps of Asbury students running around campus and through town. The seemingly silent streets come alive at 9 p.m. sharp.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming tonight. I know it means a lot. So we're gonna get out there. We're gonna run hard. We're gonna run fast. We're gonna run slow. We're gonna run it all. It's gonna be Sunday. It's night and it's fun.
It started out with a couple cross-country guys and a couple baseball guys, just going out on an easy run one Sunday night, and then it just slowly grew into kind of a run that's open to anybody.
While the goal isn't to run a whole marathon, the Sunday Fun Day Run promotes more than just staying in shape.
You can slow down, talk a little bit, and just reflect on the day. Not really worry about hitting a super hard pace or getting your workout in. It's just more so recovery, shaking out the legs, but more importantly, just having like fun conversations and just getting to spend time with each other without having to worry about performance. That's really nice.
Girlfriends involved. We have other like close friends to all of us who come and run with us. So I feel like we're more intertwined with each other's lives because of it. There's a lot of people who may not have that kind of community elsewhere that just know one of us and decide to tag along and end up finding a whole new group of people that they can say hey to when they walk around campus. And
no, it's a good time. It brings the people together from all walks of life, and it's fitness, it's fun, it's spicy, it's crazy, it's easy, it's hard. It's whatever you want it to be, and that's the beauty of it.
I mean, definitely every run that we have with the guys, we're bonding, especially these easy ones, because it's kind of different when we're doing our workouts and grinding because no one's really talking. But once we have these nice easy runs, conversation pace, we're able to kind of jog and talk about what's going on. It's a fun time.
Just getting to see certain people every Sunday night that I maybe don't get to see so often. I get to catch up with them and like talk life with them. Pretty much like anyone to come. So you don't need to be a freak athlete to come do it. It might be challenging at first, but as you do it more and more and more, it becomes a lot easier, especially with the group of people.
In Wilmore, Christian Kotwitz, Newswatch 3.
Well, it looks like I'm going to need to knock the dust off of my running shoes.
That's for sure. I wasn't built to run more than 90 feet. The annual Highbridge Film Festival was this past weekend here at Asbury. Hundreds of students and faculty got all dressed up and gathered in Hughes to watch several student-made films. And these films were judged by several highly qualified judges who have backgrounds in film. This year, Asbury had the pleasure of hosting John DeCure Jr. as a judge and lecturer over the weekend. Not only did DeCure sign and give away reprints of his designed art, he also donated one of 3 Oscars his father, John Sr., won. Although campus was busy with festivities, viewers did not have to be in Wilmore to watch the film festival. The whole separate team of students and volunteers put together a live stream of the event with a pre- and post-show interviewing award winners. Then to cap off the night, an after party was held in Miller to put a cherry on top to end an eventful weekend. While the event seems to have vanished already from campus, you can still watch the festival online.
For students at Asbury, chapel 3 days a week is a regular occurrence. Hughes Auditorium is filled with almost all of the student body to worship and listen to various speakers. With only 2 left in the school year, students will be seeing a slightly different setup than usual tomorrow morning. Outside the walls of Hughes, students have a 2-hour-long chapel outside. Our live reporter, Addie Smith, is in Hughes to give us all the details. Addie, what's going on?
Thanks, Asa. I'm in the lobby of Hughes right now, and the street behind me will host chapel tomorrow morning. Normally, chapel is inside of Hughes Auditorium, but for this special chapel, it'll be held outside. This outdoor service will start at 10:30 and end around 12 and be worth 2 flex credits. All 11 a.m. classes will be canceled so students can attend and not have to worry about missing class. During this service, there will be an honorific tree exchange with Asbury Seminary. Dr. Kevin Brown and Dr. Timothy Tennant will both speak, and worship will be led by Bristol House. Then tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in Hughes Chapel, they will host another worship service planned by the Asbury University and Asbury Theological Seminary chapel teams. This service will include communion led by Reverend Dr. Esther Jodhoff, and Bristol House will be back again to lead worship for this event. The theme of the worship service is one with God, one with each other, and one in ministry to the world. I hope you all can attend this experience and be back at 7 for this special service in chapel. That's all I have for you in Wilmore. I'm Addie Smith reporting back to you in the studio.
For students, this is a last chance to get some of the required flex credits, with 2 being offered during that time.
Asbury sports seasons are coming to an end with the school year almost over. That means there are plenty of sport updates and season wrap-ups to look at. Sports reporter Spencer Harvey gives us all the latest with your sport updates. Hey, Spencer.
Thanks, Christian. Both softball and baseball picked up some solid wins over the weekend. The Lady Eagles defeated Berea College 9-0 in the first game and 9-1 in the second. A strong defense and 18 runs within 2 games led the Lady Eagles to an undefeated weekend. Offensively, Taylor Enlow led the team with 5 hits, which included a triple, 2 doubles, and also a home run, which is her 4th one of the year. The team was solid on the defensive end with no errors and only 1 run allowed in 2 games. The Lady Eagles continued the year 11-23. The boys on the diamond secured a comeback win this weekend against Wright State. That moves their record to 19-12 heading into the final stretch of their season. The women's golf team has taken their last few strokes for Asbury University. Over the weekend, the men and women traveled to Louisville, Kentucky to compete in the Spalding Invitational. On the men's side, Joel Costa had yet another top 5 finish to lead the team. There were only 3 men competing, so they played as individuals for the first time this season. That has been common for the women's team, which has been discontinued as of last week. The 3 women that were played were not able to score in the tournament because they only competed 1 full day due to Highbridge conflicts. Our hearts go out to those golfers as they continue to figure out their journeys here without golf. For all student athletes, sports have impacted them in various ways. For Ollie Gunthorpe, he had his own experiences playing soccer in another country. Chloe Stivers brings us his story. Let's take a look.
Soccer is for the people. My name is Ollie Gunthorpe. I was born in Australia, but I grew up in Indonesia, and I've been playing soccer for about 9 years. Yeah, the experience of the club team was very different from a lot of experiences that people have on club teams. They sort of blend in very easily, but obviously being the only white kid, I stood out a lot in my own team, and that made it more difficult to make friendships on the team.
I was a very active child. I could not stop moving, and they were like, yeah, it's a good way for him to get exercise.
I received a lot of awards in my high school. I was MVP, and the little tournament that we have for my school, I was named the best player for, I think, 3 years for both of those things. Also, when I was playing with the team, the spectators had different expectations for me as a player, being different, to be better than everybody else, and I felt that pressure a lot. And it definitely affected how I played. I played very nervous. I played, very scared that I was going to mess up and that people were going to see that I was different and I was going to let them down. And my friends, they were able to, stand by me, and they knew that I would be nervous to play because I was different. But they saw past that and they encouraged me to keep going and just do my best. And in that way, I was able to make some of the best friendships I've ever had. And I was able to cross a lot of cultural boundaries and make friends with people that I would never be able to make friends with normally. And it means that even if you don't know somebody, you can still smile at them and say hi to them and have a good time with them, and you form a connection with them without even having to speak to them by playing with them. And in that sense, it's also very important for ministry. And my family were missionaries over in Indonesia, and the main way that I felt called to influence others was through soccer on my local club team. And that became very important to me and still is very important to me. And I pray for those guys every day. Saya suka main sepak bola. I love playing soccer.
On to the national stage. On Sunday afternoon, the Kings pulled off something that hasn't been done in almost 2 decades. The Sacramento Kings defeated the Golden State Warriors 126-123 in the first round of the NBA playoffs. This marks the franchise's first postseason win since 2006. The Kings were led by De'Aaron Fox, who put up 38 points, 5 assists, and 3 steals. As of last night, the Kings are still leading the series 2-0. In Chicago, fans got a little heated at a White Sox game this past Saturday. A large brawl broke out after an altercation in the stands. Both men and women were involved in the fight and injuries were sustained. The White Sox have yet to release a statement on the incident, and there is also no reported police investigation. The White Sox went on to defeat the Orioles 7-6, improving their record to 6-9. That's all the sports I have for you today. Back to you, Asa.
Police in Dadeville, Alabama say they have strong leads on a suspect in Saturday's deadly mass shooting at a Sweet 16 birthday party. 4 people were killed and more than 24 injured, including several students. According to police, law enforcement officials have now identified 4 who lost their lives and 2 of whom were seniors at Dadeville High School. Witnesses say gunfire broke out in the venue where Saturday's party was being held, and the motive for the shooting is still unknown and undergoing further investigation. And it wasn't the only shooting of a teen or mass shooting in the country this weekend. Laura Aguirre brings us more.
These children had very bright futures, very, very athletic, very humble children.
Gun violence ripping through more American communities. Students in Dadeville, Alabama, begin their week remembering classmates and friends killed and wounded Saturday after gunfire erupted at a Sweet 16 birthday party.
Phil just actually got a scholarship to play football at Jacksonville State University.
Phil is Philstavius Dowdell, the older brother of the birthday girl. Also killed, Sean Kivia, or Kiki Smith, a senior who was involved in track and had plans to attend the University of Alabama. Police named the other 2 killed as 19-year-old Marcia Collins and 23-year-old Corbin Holston.
This doesn't happen in Dadeville, Alabama. This is not who we are. We are a loving community.
Justice all around! Another teen shot this weekend, this time in Kansas City. Police there working to unravel how an address mistake ended with a boy being shot.
He is alive and he's healing.
The aunt of 16-year-old Ralph Jarl, surrounded by supporters protesting her nephew's shooting. Police say Jarl accidentally went to the wrong address Sunday to pick up younger siblings and was shot by the homeowner. That homeowner was arrested and released after a 24-hour hold as police gather more evidence. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The Jarl family's attorney, Ben Crump, says Ralph was hit by bullets in the head and arm. Jarl reportedly was released from the hospital Sunday and is recovering at home, according to the Kansas City Star. In Louisville, Kentucky, another mass shooting over the weekend. Police say 2 people were killed and 4 others wounded when shots were fired into a crowd gathering at a park on Saturday night. This incident comes just days after 5 people were killed and 8 others injured, including a rookie police officer, when a gunman opened fire in a downtown Louisville bank.
Federal authorities believe they have more evidence of China expanding espionage and security activity in the U.S. The Department of Justice says is looking at 3 cases where Chinese security officials are accused of targeting Chinese dissidents living in the U.S. In one case, 2 officials are charged with allegedly operating an illegal police station in New York City to spy on and intimidate dissidents. In other, 10 Chinese officials are facing charges for allegedly spying on Zoom calls of people known for speaking out against Chinese policies, then harassing them. The 3rd case concerns charges against 34 members of a specialized unit in China, accused of creating fake social media accounts to harass Chinese dissidents and to promote propaganda from China in the U.S.
Gas prices are on the rise, and experts say they're about to get even worse. AAA reports the national average for a gallon of regular is now $3.67. It says that price has been on the rise for weeks, with GasBuddy noting increases in 45 states. Experts from both organizations point to oil prices that have been topped $80 a barrel with recent production cuts. Those start in May and are on top of the ones unveiled in October. AAA notes another factor could be increasing demand, which higher prices may deter. GasBuddy predicts northeastern states will see a 15 to 40 cent jump when the region switches to a summer blend this week. Other states are already using that seasonal fuel after transitioning earlier. The good news is that the gas supply in Florida should improve soon, according to AAA. It says distribution chains are back to normal after floods slowed operations.
With rising trends of assistance from our furry friends, therapy animals have become more common in hospitals. Now, when you think of therapy animals, you probably don't think of Great Danes, which are bigger than some horses. John Laurelstein shows us how they are becoming a hit in one Minnesota hospital.
If a nurse isn't aware of us coming in, doesn't know that the dogs, they're that big, they've been scared.
When Wayne Kamelik brings Hulu and Tootsie to the hospital, they have to avoid narrow spaces. But despite their size, the Great Danes are about as friendly as they come.
They are, unless you were a squirrel. Yes, they are just the most gentle animals that I've ever raised.
Hulu weighs 170 pounds, Tootsie weighs 166. In fact, both dogs tower over miniature horses that are in the local Therapy Animal Association.
This is very unique, and to have a brother-sister team is very cool.
A while back, Hulu made friends with 3-year-old Nellie Kubski.
He remembers you. Why did you come to the hospital? Do you remember?
Because my tummy hurt.
Nellie had appendicitis and was in a lot of pain. But just before her surgery, the biggest and friendliest dog she had ever seen paid her a visit.
He helped you feel better?
Yeah.
For a little bit?
Yeah, he was just cheering me up.
Before they became therapy dogs, Hulu and Tootsie were show dogs, winning awards with Wayne and his wife Patricia. Sadly, she was diagnosed with dementia a few years ago and now lives in a memory care facility. But several times a week, the gentle giants pay Mom a visit.
Does it help her too? Yes, definitely. Not only help her just individually, but she has more rapport with other staff and people in the residency.
Great Danes who are pretty great. And it doesn't matter if you're an older patient or someone 7 times smaller than they are. Hulu and Tootsie are always looking to make a friend. In St. Cloud, John Lordson, WCCO 4 News.
Those dogs seem to be one big help.
Well, the use of therapy dogs like Hulu and Tootsie helps more than just hospital patients. Across the nation, there is a growing trend of seeing therapy dogs visit college campuses to lower student stresses.
According to recent studies, over 60% of U.S. colleges have a pet therapy program. In just 10 minutes, students can see reduced levels of the stress hormone cortisol.
Now, that would be a big help for the impending final week students are about to undergo as the semester winds down.
Well, that's all the updates we have for you today.
And this will be our last time this year giving you your weekly news coverage.
If you tuned in at all this year, we thank you so much for your support of our student-run broadcast.
It has been an absolute pleasure to deliver the news to you this semester.
See you next time, Asbury.